community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm.
How does
community zero?
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning, or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient. In my opinion, tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And, that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, 1 billion impressions and 1 million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community let's just start with on campus?
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time it was Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that. It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional
Hello and welcome, esports fans. We are here and we are live. I am FBI Tugboat. I'm here with my man Twin Salty. I'm just so excited I can't get the words out appropriately. We are here. We are live. The NJCAAE action coming at you. Little Overwatch 2 action here today, Twin Salty.
Yeah, and 2 teams, halfway way of the season. Hawking College and Iowa Central both trying to get to that halfway mark on a good mark. As Iowa Central 2-0, Hawking 1-1, but one of those wins technically being the bye week win. So they're looking for that true first win of the season.
Exactly. 2 decently evenly matched teams coming up here. That is Hawking out of Southeast Ohio, and that is Iowa Central out of the middle part of Iowa, if you'll grant it there, Twin Salty. But yeah, super excited here for today. Classic first to 3. We'll be having our Busan matchup first, and then loser will pick map, winner will pick sides, correct?
Yep, and it'll be push, then hybrid, then escort. Map 5 actually being push if we do get to that point, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what these teams kind of have up their sleeves, as, you know, Busan will be that first map of the day. And I'm kind of curious if these teams are going to stick to the meta that we've kind of seen develop over the last few weeks, or if they're going to kind of drift away.
I like that a lot of this is very dependent on map. I think that's kind of what Blizzard wanted. I think that's what a lot of competitive players wanted for team compositions, not to be like one super standard like we have seen in Overwatch's past. Now, of course, there is prevailing metas and whatnot, especially due to game type, but there are individual maps all the way through here, and because we don't know those yet, can't quite give accurate predictions as far as what that is. Hawking College on your left, that's the Hawks. Iowa Central on your right, that's the Tritons. That's the Tritons. I gotta say, as this competition is beginning here, Twin Salty, I just kind of like the Tritons a little bit more. Like, I got nothing against the name of the Hawks, but it's just like Birds of Prey are kind of overused as mascot names. False or correct?
True. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
right.
facts.
Like, come on, guys.
Hey, it's like the Triton. Like, that's a sick name.
It's pretty unique, right?
Yeah.
Now like
this
aquatic,
team
like
not
warfare
running meta?
themes. Oh, sorry. Hey, there you go. There you go. No, they are not. No, they are not. I do like the Orisa. I do like the Orisa a lot. Let's go ahead and introduce these. We are looking at Shiro.exe, or just Shiro. Bedussi. Wussy. Probably henceforth referred to as Wussy. Or Wussy, maybe, right? Jatone over there on the Orisa, Cogs of War on the Moira, and Eagles Mo. Of course, referred to as Eagles on that brig. This is Jatone, now getting super aggressive on the right side. Nice spin usage right there, kind of like that temporary shield and whatnot. Nice hit out as Cyclone's Immortality field does get deleted as well. And this looks like this is going to be all Iowa Central early.
Yeah, Iowa Central just racking it up, been able to get a few pickoffs with that Soldier, which she's just so incredibly good right now in the meta. Especially if you can line up those railgun headshots, she just deletes enemies, and so far gets them the fight win. Hawking already making a swap. Jacob going over to the Junkrat, trying to burst down the tone just a little bit more than what they were able to do in that previous fight.
There you go. Now we're looking at Hawking. This is Nitrous Bro. They're falling right there as Jatone hits some solid shots up close and personal. Immortality field invested as well. But the result is the same here, Twin Salty.
Yeah, same result. Another fight win going over to Iowa Central with another nice Shiro headshot. And Hawking just struggling to get in a little bit here. Iowa Central mainly holding the main choke with Shiro kind of on that off angle. And I would like to see Hawking here just rush the Soldier and go around towards drum side and try and avoid this main area that you've kind of been stuck at these last few fights.
And look, between the Brig, the May, obviously the hit scan, Shiro on that Sojourn, this is just such brawly composition that can be able to do damage from multiple sides. Here's the ultimate, charge up is coming, everything missed thus far, as I spoke too soon. Cyclone gonna get dusted out right there. A little bit too much pressure. Nicely done. Temporary wall from Wussy. And that's a tire invested as well. Iowa Central's Orisa, that's Jatone, still going to be able to get away from this one.
Yeah, just gonna use that Fortify, lives that little bit extra, and now finally gonna over towards Drum and just gonna get rotated behind.
Wow, okay, it is Cogs of War here on the last. Jatone still having that ultimate available. We'll have a little Blizzard action up here for the last team fight probably as the rally does come in as well. Wow, okay, this is Iowa Central all day long.
Yeah, Iowa Central putting their mark on here as the Tritons take the first round of Busan. Nice and decisive, 100-0. And I don't know, it just seemed like Hawking just kept sitting at that choke for a long time. It's like, all right, trying to play for a pick with the Junk. And it just never happened. It usually seemed like Jacob was getting picked up early or the Unknown was getting picked up early from Shiro on the flank. And now as we get ready to go downtown, I want to see maybe something a little bit different from them. So far, not going to really show it. Iowa Central changing it up a little bit. Shiro going over to that Widow, which I would say if you are Hawking, that's a little bit of a scary thought.
Yeah, that's fair. If this was our third Busan map, this would be basically a trash pick. It is not. We are here, and there is a lot of verticality as this Shiro Widowmaker can get up to control point. Lock in about 20 seconds. A unique look here from Iowa Central, but Kong thematically playing the monkey.
Yeah, and just gonna try and just a Winston duel up here. Nice little wall though, and it's gonna get Kong as the wall sets it up, and now Shiro just has free reign up on this high ground.
So yeah, Kong actually just kind of dedicate some time up there early. Not 100% sure what that one was about. Nicely done. Eagles mowing, Cogs of War finding picks of their own, deciding it wiser to just go on back to point.
Yeah, and I don't mind the jump there from Kong. I think it was read by Iowa Central. They got there first, and as soon as they see Kong jumping in, you put the wall up from Dusty, and you just clean it up from there. And Hawking gonna go over to that subway side yet again.
Initial tries here from Nitrous Bro, but Jacob once again. Were they booped into these train areas on the left? Not 100% sure. Regardless, that's Shiro taking a little bit off the top. Unknown. Gonna be sent back to Respawn to think about their mistakes. Oh my goodness. Like what? It's not pigeons, it's a flying monkey, right?
Yeah. I can't tell if Jacob's trying to do a flank and he's not making it around with the concussion mines. That's like the only thing I can think of. That, or it's just not giving Jatone the kill credit on the slight knockback effects that Winston jumps have. But yeah, Hawking they're struggling right now and even get through. Shiro gets a nice headshot. Gonna hit another shot on the Jacob as they fly by the screen.
No one can hide
And
from
Hawking
my
just
sight.
kind of struggling to figure out how they want to engage this.
The simple fact is that Iowa Central is right now playing so oppressively that they literally have 5 different players in 5 different spots. Cogs of War, Eagles Mo, went back, dedicated a little bit of time right here, and now Jatone, with only a little bit of, but that's actually really bad for them, are not able to make this one out. Cyclone, this is the biggest pick that Hawking has had so far. Pushing on to point, that's Jacob landing him where they want to right now. Now shots over the side, nicely done. This Blizzard is gonna do nothing but be wasted ultimate unless Shiro can have something to say about it. Nicely done. This is, yeah, I was gonna say, this is a lot required from a single Widowmaker though, and with no health on the other side, Hawking's at least not gonna finish this control round at a 0-0 situation.
And at that point, if you're sure, it's like, okay, I don't need to feed in. You get to 99%. You have plenty of time still to try and flip this one over, but it does start at least lining up the dominoes here for Hawking, as a lot of ultimates are about to be online.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Hawking was able to do all of this without a single ultimate on the board. Jacob is a hair's breadth, never mind, now at their retire. Nicely done from Nitrous. Timing that one perfectly. We'll get back to that one and talk a little bit about it more in a minute. Jatone, perfectly done. Nano boost right here, and then just, yeah. Where's a 500-pound monkey sit? The answer, Twin Salty, is anywhere they want.
Yeah, anywhere they would like to be, as the team kill comes through, and Iowa Central will claim map 1, and I would say pretty decisive fashion.
Yeah, about 40% taken on map number 2, and Hawking, the worst part about all of this is they take this, and then all 5 die with ultimate. Right, that was a full team wipe there at the end. Let's take a look at. Ah, man, I wish they would have gotten us like the 5 seconds before then, so we could have broken down that play a little bit more. But hey, wishes for horses, beggars will ride, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like the tone that was set by Iowa Central is like, all right, we are going to decide where we have these fights, and you are either going to deal with it or you're going to make a mistake trying to get around it. And it was great from them, honestly. I like the Sojourn pick. And when Shiro's hitting shots like they are, they kind of just have high ground all to themselves without any pressure. It's kind of, HC digging their own grave.
Yeah. I will never complain about a Winston composition, Twin Salty. You'll never, sir, see me complain about a Winston composition. But at the end of the day, I feel like this was kind of an easy read. You are getting picked off in every way, shape, and form by Shiro. That was happening earlier when they were playing on the Sojourn and whatnot. Just play the Reinhardt, right? Just put that shield up. It's not going to be nice getting dove on by the Winston, but at the end of the day, as long as you can avoid the Mei walls, then just take out the tank. And I can guarantee you a Widowmaker's not going to do 1,200 damage onto a single shield by themselves in any short amount of time. This is just block those shots, move them on, right? I don't know. I don't know. As it is, we're moving on into a push type game. This will be Iowa Central that will be deciding side. Hawking that'll be deciding the actual map, Twin Salty.
Yeah, and it's New Queen Street that we are going to, which I think out of the three, it's probably the best one they could have
Agreed.
picked.
100%
Coliseo
agree.
is very long range, and I think Esperanza, with it being still so new, there's a lot of teams that aren't very comfortable on it, and if you have somebody like Shiro, it's not going to be a good day if you're Hawking. So I like the call here for New Queen Street. If they can get pressure of any kind onto the Iowa Central backline, I think that is where you try and begin. Maybe you have a Genji or a Tracer instead of the Reaper, just because the Reaper really couldn't get to where they wanted to go.
I love how he's avoiding saying Sombra, too.
The
state that Sombra's in right now is just so
the
irritating.
Sombra is
It's so
good
irritating.
in whatever you want to do. The Sombra,
exactly.
no matter what you're running, is going to be good. But
Egg
I
House.
do think it can work. Yeah, that's true. Until the nerfs hit, I think they announced today, like 3 weeks. I think November 15th, those nerfs are hitting. So still a few weeks for these teams to kind of sink into this meta before it changes up.
Yeah. Love to see the Anna pick, left side Hawking. Some Junker Queen. It'll be interesting stuff over right side. Junker Queen obviously coming out and being wildly popular, at least initially. Maybe not so much the case anymore. The Cassidy pick. That magnetic grenade, it is something else. But still two soft supports, two side supports, whatever you want to call them over here right side for Iowa Central between Cogs of War and the Lucio and Eagles Mo on the Brig. Different story every way, shape, and form on Hawking's side, right? A lot of main supports on the side.
Yeah, it's double flex for Hawking, double main support for Iowa Central, but I think the Brig can work if you're playing fast. Iowa Central just going to try and close that gap super quickly and just burn down the front line.
Reaper on the top. Jacob barely able to get back. Jacob's had some really good positioning here, but that's an initial pick here from Hawking. That magnetic grenade coming in early. Jacob trying to be a frontline Reaper. You have to admire the predisposition. Always go forth and try and do your best. Get up in the front lines. This shotgun blast, this Cassidy is actual one. Shiro ends him with a headshot, but they really only needed like a strong breath, harshly phrased word to put them down at one. Jatone still able to keep this one up. Did that? Oh man, that Reinhardt. I thought the Ryan actually caught somebody on the end right there. Obviously, the new Reinhardt can really affect their trajectory a lot more. I think that's the right word.
Yeah, they can turn at more aggressive angles. I'm not sure if it gave the kill credit. I'm pretty sure Eagles knocked him away with the whip shot, but it just didn't give him credit. I'm not sure. It was kind of hard to tell, but Iowa Central now can move on forward, want to take these fights quickly, which is kind of surprising that they won that previous one, considering they don't have as much heals.
Speaking of heals right now, there's a stick. Jatone purple for the time being. Able to get this one back, but a support on both sides falling. Huge shatter, and that's when the soldier comes up, but Shiro just pops right up and takes one off the top. Shiro desperately trying to come back from this one. Jacobs forced to really retreat on this, full of health, and now we'll have to flank. Kong falling in the thick of things as well as Shiro hits the sliding headshot. A little bit of Call of Duty action showing up in Overwatch.
Yeah, nice little slide 360, just for a little bit of finesse on there as well.
Style doesn't die. Style does not die.
Hey, style never hurts. As Iowa Central just keep moving on forward, they get that checkpoint with the advanced spawns now. And Tune does have the Rampage, even though Unknown could be a huge factor here with that protection. Suzu can get rid of all that anti in just one little grenade.
Speaking of ultimates, here's the Kitsune Rush from Unknown. Cyclone's gonna have theirs as well. Jacob getting super low and now just looking for heads as of right now. Nitrous Bro falls. Huge Junker Queen ultimate to the back. Purple everywhere like they're painting a picture. Iowa Central taking out 4 of the 5. That's a full team kill, I do believe. And nobody's pushing payload. Pushing robot.
So that fight will maybe get another 15 meters, but they're gonna have to basically win another fight at the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Which again, you draw at least some resources if you're Iowa Central, but still, some work to be done. Even though at this point you're feeling pretty good about yourselves, at least 100 meters and counting. And Hawking haven't really had an answer for you.
It's entirely fair. Entirely fair. Jacob, Cyclone, both falling. Cyclone falling with ultimate. Jacob at 98% is the best chance that Hawking has at this hold right now. Nice nade, Nitrous Bro. Taking initial pick, then paying with it for their lives. as this is still Iowa Central just going on. That Sojourner just proves to be way too much. 15 kill streak, and now that's 2 meters. Might be able to get to it, not gonna happen.
Iowa Central 2-0 now. Match point already. And honestly, they're playing really well, but I think part of it's Hawking kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They seem to be really hesitant on making any sort of decision, whether it be where to initiate a fight or using ults. As they did it, they died with like 3 ults here at the end. They have Nano, they have the Death Blossom. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they had the High Noon as well, if the Cassidy. So I wonder if it's just that little bit of nerves being on stream. It's like, okay, we need to play well, but they're just not. They're trying to look for too big of an ult instead of just making sure you use it and at least getting it out there and kind of seeing how it plays out.
Yeah.
And Iowa Central have just been rolling. Like, they're controlling where these fights are happening. The tempo completely in their court.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. At the end of the day, it would be better. It actually would be better, especially with like backs against wall type situation, about to lose the last map in control, this one about to lose the last few meters on push, to just literally just press the button, right? Just drop it right here. Because even if like everybody, as long as you get it at the same time, at least there's some kind of like momentum, like you said, tempo kind of going your way at that point. To die with 2 ultimates last time, almost 3, and then 3 actually on this one, like you said, the High Noon, the Nano, and the Kitsune Rush. I can't exactly remember. I can't remember the third one. Doesn't matter. My point is, a lot of ultimates on the board right there, and would have really benefited from actually dropping like a couple of them right there. And at the end of the day, you can't really excuse that too much. Like it does require coordination, but also it's like, why not? Like, what are you losing by not dropping those?
Exactly. At that point, it's like, just chuck it in. Like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you do win that fight, hey, there's a chance you keep it rolling on that point. Because at that point, you're going to have those ultimates that you've been struggling to really obtain over the last, 3 minutes of the game. If you use 1 or 2, it's fine. As it'd be a hybrid next map pick for Hawking College. And it's hard to tell what they should go here, because nothing's really worked. To be blunt, nothing's worked so far. I don't know if the Orisa call is the greatest pick. Just because she gets burned down super quickly as soon as you use that javelin spin. It's like, oh, target me. Because you have no defense at that point. So I'm kind of curious. Oh, maybe Midtown? I think Midtown would actually be a decent one for them if they want to go that direction. Or Kings Row, you can't really go too wrong.
Scrims Row, baby. Scrims Row.
It's Scrims Row still, even in Overwatch 2. So I'm kind of curious on what direction they want to go, but there's nothing that Iowa Central is doing wrong. Like, honestly, I think
that's
for
fair.
Hawking, you kind of need to wait as well. Like, are they going to make a mistake at some point?
I feel like this is counterpick central, especially if we're looking at Kings Row. You'll just have to do a whole lot to avoid the Shiro Widowmaker or the Sojourn right here, especially given like how many ledges there are on Kings Row, like in the first couple points right here before you unlock payload. This is the aside from initial Widow spot, right? Sojourn can literally get to anything in a half-second slide, right? They can jump up to any second level on this, and an experienced one, or at least coming from second ledge onto, or from like that garden area, right where point opens up, you could even get to the over the top bridge part, like as a Sojourn. So it's just kind of like, there's so many capabilities there. Sorry, if we're talking like strategies and whatnot, I think that the classic like Winston put Dome on top of Orisa isn't bad. Like, especially if they've used their javelin spin at that point, the only way that Orisa can speed up her own movement ability and whatnot, like, why not put the Dome on top? Orisa's just gonna shoot at the middle of it, and you can pay attention to other heroes in that meantime.
Exactly. I believe we do have a timeout for one of the teams. We're going to head to a very quick break. And after this, we'll have map 3 between Iowa Central and Hawking College.
It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences. And if we're talking explicitly about fandom, you have to make the students on your campus care about the team first. That's the biggest thing. Either you create a level of pride through community engagement, or through the team itself. At a lot of schools, the groundwork is there for this. Like there are schools like UBC, Ohio State, with Buckeye Gaming Collective that have clubs that number in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, right? So they have a base to begin with. At a school like Maryville, like we kind of developed it the opposite way. When I came in and started building our esports program, we had 3 kids in our esports club. And so we've kind of built the team, and then the club has followed, which is kind of the opposite for a lot of schools. But I think that we have to develop tribalism, and that starts with meaningful live events. And the more that these events, the longer that these events continue to be like only online, the less effective it is in creating that final goal.
Agreed. Doc, you wrap it up for us, please.
I would just say this: clubs ebb and flow based on their leadership. But if all students, all clubs, all groups are given regular and meaningful invitations to come in, use the space, create what you want out of this, then it will continue to thrive despite the change in leadership. I can just imagine that Cincy student group with Chris heavy in the leadership there just being amazing. But there's not always someone with his skill set at the helm. So you just need to be open and look for opportunities to serve, even though it can be more difficult, especially in the scheduling of the space. I know a lot of people that don't like anybody else but the players they're recruited to use their space. As much as we can, if we want to build community, we have to open the space to people that we wouldn't normally see in there and let them do the types of things that they want to do.
One more thing, so like on a national level, though, if we want to raise the general viewership of all of collegiate esports and not just different pockets, that's a hard one because people watch esports to see people do stuff that they're better than them at, right? So naturally at the collegiate level, we're going to be at a lower level than pro. So it's hard to get people to watch for that reason. But what we can sell are narratives and storylines, matchup histories. And as we start to build a longer history of collegiate esports, I actually truly believe that some of the CLOL storylines are more rich than what exists in Academy and
100%.
and the LCS, but no one's really covering it. No one's really drilling down into it. No one's creating narrative content. So I think that that's the key to getting people to care about it. Like if there's a storyline, people attach themselves to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing before we end. The largest organizations on any university campus.
And after a very short break, we keep our promises here over the NJCAAE. We are going back for a map number 3. Before we hop into it, Twin Salty, I want to give the opportunity to shout out our production staff. That is Colton, and that is Cool Scoots, Scoots over there. Without our production staff, we are just 2 crazy guys screaming about esports in our rims, so we really appreciate that. Making our job as casters just so much easier.
Yeah, without them, it's like we're just kind of talking over a game that would be a pretty boring POV. So they kind of make it better for everybody involved. So a huge shout out to those guys for everything they do and all of our producers and observers out there. Y'all don't get enough credit for what you do. But it is going to be Midtown for map 3. And I do think it's a decent call here for Hawking College. But as we kind of talked about during the break off air, Sojourn is just great no matter what the map. So I think a little bit, if you can't deal with the Sojourn from ICCC, you're going to have some issues.
Yeah, exactly. And Shiro's just been playing the hit scan characters perfectly so far. Some of it has been a lack of pressure. I would have loved to see like some Reaper play. I believe that was Jacob on the side of Hawking, like the Hawking Hawks over here. I would have loved to see like some Reaper pressure right there, right? That teleport's there for a reason. You teleport in, you Wraith mode out. Getting that onto a Widowmaker, now fully 200 health, it is going to be a little bit harder than the 175 that we've seen in the past, but it's not going to be impossible is my point. And if you just simply push them off a position, that is money as well.
Yeah, and I'd like they went Reaper earlier. I think at that point though they were trying to put more pressure onto Jatone when they dove more than it was trying to put it on Shiro. And it's not a horrendous idea, but when Jatone was just able to get out and then basically bait Hawking into the sight lines of Shiro, that's when that plan suddenly becomes a little bit more of an issue. So I'm kind of curious if Hawking is, going to have a different approach. Just currently they don't. Going to be running the Rhine with the Baptiste and Mercy. And then the Hanzo actually going to be being played by Nitrous and the Sim. Currently, Iowa Central probably just running the Sim to do a little bit of a funny teleport strat over at a point. I'm kind of curious, actually, where they are teleporting over to.
I'm not against this by any means. Right there to the back. Charging straight in. Got Mercies and everything else around. Target-rich environment, but not gonna matter. Iowa Central putting them down where they stand. Left, right, and central. My goodness. Talk about that charge-up shot again, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All over.
Quick.
All over.
That was a quick fight. As everybody kind of just sitting down as well, having a little bit of a party there on point. But yeah, I liked that strat. You could tell Iowa Central was like, oh, they're holding underneath Subway? Okay. So this kind of teleported right onto them and moved down forward, and now can start making their way through the streets phase of the map, and it's already going. It's all red in the kill feed. Might as well just, if I stun, they can just keep pushing that car as long as somebody actually gets on it, and they get even more positioning here, and they get free high ground now for Shiro just to do whatever they want, which Hawking has not been able to deal with very much this series.
Yeah, so, okay, the important thing to notice here, though, is that, yes, Iowa Central has, like, an advantage on ult charge, but Unknown just changed onto Lucio. That's the only reason why they're at 22 right now. Outside of Jacob, everybody else got pretty decent ultimate charge in those team fights. It's just a lot of yardage that Hawking has given up to this point. Now, they are playing together, at least. Kong and the rest. Going to be dropping down from below. Little waterfall, little guillotine action. Unknown is first. Never want to put a Lucio first into these team fights. And that is Hawking paying the price for it. These Hawks have been downed.
Hawks got their wings clipped a little bit here in New York, as it's just the fire truck just keeps on moving. We're already done with streets phase, and one heck of a time, like 6 minutes left, Tuck, to try and finish out this map, which it's historically a little more difficult, but they don't seem to be having an issue.
Yeah, brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. A 2-0 Iowa Central squad coming into this one against a Hawks 1-1 squad, and then Kong pulls this primal a little bit late in the team fight and whatnot. Hawking gets together on this, then they have a solid shot to hold for a couple minutes. Now, like you said, 6 minutes is an absolutely brutal amount of time, though, if you're on defense.
Yeah, and they just made some swaps as well. Kong's over to the Orisa, Nitrous onto the Reaper, Cyclone over to the Moira. So the only ultimate they're banking on is Jacob's Riptire, which could get counted out by the Sound Barrier.
Brutal stuff. And that's Shira right here. A nice trap from Jatone, so not going to be keeping them moving. But even on one team fight right here, Iowa Central is, again, not moving this payload. They just got on there a couple seconds ago. Especially with the Symmetra, I feel like this should be an easy strat. Keep Symmetra back. There's the tire. Nice teleport! No, they're not even going to use the sound barrier. They're just going to use that teleport. Or no, they do use the sound barrier.
They do have to use it, but it's not like it's going to matter too much. The shatter, and everybody just falls on down. Iowa Central just keep rolling as the Tritons really just feeling themselves. 4:43 on the timing. They add 43 seconds to it. And at this point, if you're Hawking, you gotta wonder, okay, what's the emergency change button, because that didn't work.
That's entirely fair. That is entirely fair. The Hawks have been looking for all sorts of tricks up the sleeve, all sorts of changes, all sorts of compositions. Nothing thus far has struck payload. I think the best look might be a Jacob Reaper. Nitrous, bro, isn't doing bad on the Hanzo. Like, they're hitting the shots, they're just not able to get the cleanups, not able to get the charge up headshots or the finishing shots on these, because Iowa Central has just played such a really good mobile team composition. And also, they've been doing a great job of protecting their low health heroes. It's just, Iowa Central is doing everything right now, like you said.
Yeah, they're doing everything right, and at this point, it's like, okay, no wonder they're 2-0. At this rate, I don't want to jinx it, right? But at this rate, seems like they're going to be being 3-0, entering the halfway mark of the season. And it's this exact spot you want to be in the matches that they've actually played. They haven't dropped a map so far. And this is just a great continuation of that if the Tritons can finish it off. And they're actually going to hold it a little close here with that teleport in their back pocket to get out. And you wonder if Hawking's going to see this one coming.
You're being sneaky. Hang on, Twin Salty. No, they do not. No, they do not. It all comes falling down. Actually, no, that's not a bad start. Okay, I was going to say, that's not a bad start for everybody paying attention to Jacob. But hey, every blizzard, every winter ends, right? Thank goodness.
Yeah, that was... It didn't look bad initially. Hawking is like, alright, you live a little bit. They're kind of targeting Kong, of all people, at first. And then Hawking gets split. And yeah, it's just a very quick fight there for the Hawks. As at this point, you're playing for picks with the hog hook. You're maybe trying to wall somebody off, being a little overzealous as well. And so far, it's just not working.
I'm not against the hog attempt, at least. Just got to land those hooks, damage on afterwards. This is a Cyclone Moira that can usually do damage on the other side. And just like that, main tank falling. Jetone. Okay, I was going to say Jetone's out of this one. Hawking has a great look until Cyclone falls prey to that really on-point hit scan shots that we have seen so far from Shiro. Maybe doing a little bit of interview action after that. We might have our candidate for it. The first player at Ultimate in this particular round, that's Shiro. Come on,
yeah,
check the number. There you go, Shiro.
Yeah, there you go. Has the Deadeye now online. And Hawking, it didn't start off that bad, actually. They get a nice wall on Jetone. They focus them down. All right, no tank for Iowa Central. And then the fight just falls apart from there. And now they have to deal with this Deadeye, which they try and get a little sneaky with it. But they still end up getting a kill.
The sneakiness thus far for Iowa Central on Queen Street. Straight up picking pockets here on the mean streets of London. London?
New York.
New York, excuse me. My goodness. I heard Queen and I thought New York. But I guess there's a Queens in New York. Maybe I just don't know anything about New York. That's entirely possible.
I don't know. I've never been out there, so I just
like
know,
New
you
York.
know,
I like New York.
what's on Google. But Iowa
There you
Central,
go.
half the time gone, and haven't had to use that much either. All they have to use is Simul,
man,
and
dude, man.
hey, what do you do at this point, right? Like, what do you do if you're Iowa Central, and if you're Hawking? Because nothing's working,
Hey,
right?
I'm not play-by-play,
no
don't
matter
ask
what
me.
You try, no matter what you try, nothing's working, and at this point, maybe just try and hold all 5 ults, use them all at once, and pray you can keep this game going.
That's close to the position that they're in right now. Nitrous Brio, excuse me, the only one so far. Decently far away from that one. Kong's about to have it. There's the Coalescence right now. There's the Blizzard as well. There's the whole hog, and there's the Sound Barrier. There's the Transcendence. Everybody dropping ults like it's going out of style, but that's 2 to the head for Cyclone and Jacob. Shiro getting mega aggressive on this and still hitting shots when all you can see is a pig stomach in your face.
Yeah, they're going to be able to finish it off as well. Onto Unknown and Nitrous. Yeah, you're not long for this world. Yeah. There they go. 40 seconds left, and Hawking just counting down now until they sadly fall to 1 and 2. Iowa Central. Yeah, they actually do have Coalescence, as you said. Tac Visor as well.
Dude, that's a main wall out, actually. If they get this wall dusted, and this soldier can really go ham right now. There's the Coalescence. That's barely able to keep it up. No, Jetone falls. Main tank down. Main support forced to reposition on this one, but Eaglesmo still hitting shots. Oh my goodness. Maybe we have a new candidate for our MVP right here. Eaglesmo, not a hit scan, still hitting shots like it.
Yeah, and that they take out the one person that you can't take out with the soldier if you want to win that for Hawking. But Iowa Central, the center of attention today. 3-0, get the brooms out. You advance to 3-0.
Yeah, insane stuff. Insane stuff on this one. Shiro getting the play of the game. Gonna be doing enough before and after. Once again, we don't like All right, we love giving our love to our tank and support players, but I think when a player pops off individually like this, like we saw Shiro on, I'm running out of fingers number of heroes, right? At least the Cassidy, Widow, and Sojourn. Those are the main three right there, and just got a lot done. All of them hit scam types, and Shiro finding value on all of them.
Yeah, and it seemed like they have a pretty decent grasp on what to run as well. I think they maybe got a little bit memey on Midtown with the Zen and Moira, but if you're feeling good, you're feeling good. And it's not like the Zen didn't work. They were hitting the shots that they need. We saw it at the very end there as well. So if you're Iowa Central, just keep going. Like at this point, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Undefeated halfway through, and it's back to the drawing board if you're Hawking. And at this point, maybe you just try, and even if it's not the most comfortable picks, I would have loved to see either team pull up the Zarya. It was very weird.
That's a really good point, actually.
See Zarya, as she's probably the most busted hero in the game, and we didn't see a second of her today.
Most busted tank in the game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves there, Twin Salty. But yeah, I mean, especially given like how much this could have countered the super heavy hit scan picks that Iowa Central was picking. This is all hindsight right now, of course, but especially with the 2 maximum Zarya projected bubbles on this one, I really do think that would have done really good work for teammates, and especially on a Jacob on the Reaper for trying to get the Shiro pick initially on any of these team fights. Not 100% sure. I mean, again, this is just theory crafting completely at this point. There's a reason why I'm on this side of the desk, guys, okay? Let's make that one. Let's make that one perfectly clear.
Yeah, it just felt like they never really got in their groove. They were always kind of playing reactive and not proactive. They were always answering to what Iowa Central was running, and they didn't really get to play their own game, it felt like. The only time they did was maybe a tiny bit on Busan Downtown, but other than that, they were kind of just living in the Triton's world, and they didn't really get to do anything that they wanted to do this entire game. And maybe it is the fact that, Iowa Central were feeling themselves and the Tritons were, firing on all cylinders. But I think at one point you have to take a stand even in your own play. Like, okay, even if we give up, let's just say like 20 meters or something, play where you want to play instead of just diving in where it could work. But if it doesn't work, then it's going to hurt us a lot.
Yeah. And also given that, I mean, especially on this last map, this payload was just shooting through here. And so split spawns are just never going to be good moves for an effective team fight. We'll be back with you guys out in just a minute. We're going to be setting up a little post-game interview action coming at you, and then lots more esports in about an hour and a half. Back with you guys in just a second.
Are always the largest groups on campus. Why? It's because of the concept of family. Let me explain. With a club or a program, many people identify, oh, I am a gamer, but I am also A, B, C. And usually it's I am A, B, C, and I'm also a gamer. Not everyone is a gamer first and foremost. And you're only going to capture that population if you're promoting purely competitive and purely esports. And so I said food nights and social activities, I'm really stealing from campus ministry and Greek life, because what you want to do to build community at your school is to make it so that the thing that you're doing is the number one thing in the students' lives. Now, that's a very selfish thing to say, but it's a true statement. For you to grow the largest community, your community needs to feel that the thing that they're a part of is the most important part of their social campus experience. That's why Greek life is so successful. That's why campus ministry is so successful. And when you treat esports as a program of just competition, practice, and development, that's an outlet. That's not a way of life. Not for at scale. Not when 55% of the campus body at a Division I school identifies as a gamer in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to touch that 55%. You're going to touch 5%, maybe. You're probably going to touch 0.05% or 0.5% at a Division I school. And so what you really need to do is build that community authentically by, as Doc said about Dan, what are the people prioritizing, and do that. And how do they enjoy their life? What would they find meaningful? Do that. And then do everything else, because the financials and everything else, the planning and all that matters too. And that's why we have a talent problem in Scholastic Esports. But I will wrap up and say for the national level, Dan's completely right on narrative. But I'm not worried about that because the only thing we need to build community nationwide is just time.
Mm-hmm.
We are 2 generations away from critical mass. And all it takes is that the current generation of students to grow up, get in the professional workforce, and have kids and raise them on the things that they were fans of. It's how baseball grew. It's how basketball grew. It's how rugby and all those other sports grow and sustain.
Cornhole grew.
But in all seriousness, all we need is time.
Mhm.
All we need to do is ensure that our products get better, our opportunities become more authentic, accessibility remains open, and monetization remains enough to us to continue to what we're doing and grow.
First, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so my name is Caitlin. I'm a part of Farmingdale State College's Esports Club. I am captain of the Valorant Green Team. I am a second semester sophomore at Farmingdale State College, and I'm 19 years old.
Okay, do you like Farmingdale so far?
Yeah, it's really great. The program I'm in is very specialized, and it's not offered that often in the East Coast, so it's pretty nice. I enjoy it.
And what's your major?
My major is aerospace professional pilot degree.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Thank you.
So, is this your first time on an esports team?
No, so I've been a part of the Valorant team for 2 semesters, and this is my third semester, and it's my first time ever being a captain.
Okay, oh, that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like being a captain?
So a lot of times I'm organizing the team, making sure everyone is properly set for upcoming games, um, getting scrims for our team, and kind of just making sure everyone is there, present, and possible, and able to play the games that we're gonna, you know, be participating in. We're participating in 2 leagues this semester, so it's kind of hectic.
Oh, gosh, yeah, definitely. I can see that. How is it different for you as a player versus as a captain? Do you feel a lot of responsibility?
I basically have the responsibility of choosing who, really plays, what type of characters everyone's playing, and what positions and roles we are all doing, as well as being there not only as a team member, but also being seen as in a leadership role and having that sort of respect there, and being able to delegate everyone's role in the team. So it's definitely a lot more different, and my voice is most definitely heard. So I like it. I like being a captain.
Yeah, that's really good. What games do you play, or what is your main game? I know you mentioned Valorant.
Right. So I play Valorant, but I started off with Counter-Strike, and I really always have been interested in FPSs. So that background has always been there. So my transfer onto Valorant was pretty easy.
That's cool. What have you done to improve yourself in game over time?
So one thing for my teams especially, I have open communication where we're able to really give our constructive criticism without taking offense. And me as a captain, especially it being my first semester, I find it really important that everyone is able to come to me and communicate like, hey Kate, I don't know how I feel about doing this, or I want my voice to be heard about this specific thing. And just basically taking into consideration everyone's voice and having that open line of communication is really helpful, and that's something I find really important.
Okay. Do you carry that strategy into your everyday life as well, would you say?
Yeah, communication is really important to me, especially in aviation with crew members. You're always trying to communicate properly and efficiently to get the assigned goal completed, and that works in video games as well as in aviation. So I feel like it transfers very well, and I put my 100% effort in everything I do. I put 100% in the team, the leagues that we're participating in, communicating with opposing teams that we might be going against. All those things, I take it really important and can transfer it very well into everyday life.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you think about CECC and just competing in general?
It's a lot of fun, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to participate. And this is something that every single member of our team has said. We've never had the opportunity to really compete in a fashion where it's not only fun, we're able to make friends, talk to other people from different schools. It's just an amazing opportunity and something we would love to participate in the future as well.
Yeah, we're really happy you feel that way. When your team is competing with other teams, Are there any specific teams or schools that your team kind of looks out for?
I think we all have the mentality of it doesn't matter who the other team is. We're gonna put 100% effort, and we're going to maintain our mental, even if the other team is full of radiance. It's not something we're gonna keep in mind because we will be able to beat them. Fingers crossed.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good mindset. As you probably
Hello and welcome back. It was a short break. We told you guys it would be because we keep our promises here at the NJCAAE. FBI Tugboat, my man Twin Salty, bringing you guys a little post-game interview action after Iowa Central. That was 0-2 on the Busan Control, 0-2 Queen Street, 0-3 on Midtown. A clean sweep of the Hawking Hawks. Hawking Hawks dropping to 1-2. Iowa Central improving to that undefeated 3-0. Now, we got the man of the hour over here. That is Shiro. Shiro to come on in and give us a minute of their time after the game. Shiro, how we doing, my man?
We're doing good. It was kind of shaky during the match, but I'm
That's
glad
fair.
that I was able to perform well.
There you go. Perform well, you did. We'll hop right into it. Twin Salty, please, sir, take it away.
Well, I'll say first, it didn't seem like you were that shaky. You were clicking heads a bunch today. How
Yep.
did it feel,
Yeah.
especially after that first map where you guys just honestly set the tone for how the final team maps went?
It felt pretty good. We were really cohesive, and I don't think we would have went as far if the healers did, if the support did not.
Is this a
You know.
DPS shouting out his supports? What's going on here?
Well, to be honest, the support literally did actually help us push and help us like cap points, and without support, we would have died a lot.
Yeah, it's true. The appeal your sports had was insane. And I think especially for you guys, it seems like you guys already have a really good grasp on push. How has been the team's approach on that new game mode over these past few weeks since the game came out?
At first, it was a little rocky because we didn't really know how to go about it. But now, I think we're more cohesive now than we were before. I think we're definitely getting better at it, and we should be good.
Sure
I-
thing. Tugboat,
yeah.
what do you got for him?
Yeah, so Shiro, we talked a little bit about it before we went to break. The Cassidy, the Widowmaker, and the
Yeah.
Sojourn right here. Which do you personally feel like you played the best, and what's a hero that you did not showcase today that you feel like you would have had a solid impact with?
I feel like the hero that I played out of the three the best today was definitely Sojourn, and
Yes.
I think by far like my worst character that I could have actually done really well with, but I didn't, was definitely Cassidy. Just because like I have more hours on Cassidy than any other DPS, so I feel like I could have done better. But I'm still glad that we did good and everybody else did good, and I'm really happy.
I'm with it. Let me go ahead and get it. Get a little look inside the mind, a slice of the mind right here of a Cassidy player. Assuming, of course, you played it plenty in Overwatch 1, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. How do you feel about the grenade now? Like balance wise, damage wise, effectiveness,
So-
like the whole 9 yards.
Balance wise, I think in terms of stuns, it's better because it doesn't stun at all.
Mhm.
But however, if you hit it just right and somebody's walking around the corner, it will curve around the corner to home in on them. And I don't know. I just feel like 130 damage is a little much, but I feel like if they tone down the damage, I feel like it would be much more balanced than what it is right now.
You heard it from the horse's mouth himself. I promise, guys, I don't have a knife to Shiro right now. He's just saying what I feel as well. He's just saying exactly what I feel like as well. They're just 130, and like you said, the curving, the homing aspect to it might be a little bit much combined together.
Yeah,
but
it's a little much.
yeah, there you go. I feel vindicated, guys. I feel vindicated. Shiro, once again, I want to thank you for coming on in and giving us a minute of your time after the match. Before we get you on out of here, I want to ask if you have any shout-outs.
Oh man, I have to shout out. I almost score. I have to shout out pretty much everyone on the team. If without the team, without everybody being cohesive, I feel like we wouldn't have gone as far. Honestly, if the team wouldn't be cohesive, and if we don't end up working, if we ended up just not being like if we didn't communicate well, I feel like we wouldn't have gone as far. So pretty much everyone on the team did good, and
There you go.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. The coordination, communication, important within the great game of Overwatch 2, as well as in relationships in real life, people. It's a very, very important point.
It's
very
important to
point.
build up team trust. It's good.
100%. 100%. Shiro, once again, thank you for coming on and giving us some of your time after the match.
Of course, man. Of course.
Yes, sir. Getting back to it, we got plenty of esports left on the docket here today, but unfortunately, after a relatively quick Overwatch match, we are going to be having a solid little break between then and now. Looking at about an hour and some change, we'll be going live with a 5-minute countdown in about an hour and 2 minutes. Twin Salty, anything else for the good people before we bid them a temporary adieu?
Just honestly, shout out again to our producer and observer, Cool Scoots and Colton. Did an amazing job. Thank you, Tug, for casting with me today, and I hope everybody, has a wonderful weekend.
Yep, all my shout outs the same. Appreciate you guys for watching. Back with you in about an hour.
To you to be a woman in esports and as a captain, just could you talk about that for a little bit?
Coming into being a woman in aviation, which is already really a niche type of thing, especially women in video games, things like that. It's just we're kind of the minority, and keeping that in mind, a lot of times you have to represent yourself properly because you are representing such a small community. So I feel proud and honored to be a part of the women's in aviation as well as being a woman in esports, and it's a lot of fun, and just understanding that us girls are here too and we're as good as everyone else, and that we have the opportunity to be a leader in esports, and that we're equal to everyone. It's really important to keep that in mind because we're here even though you might not see us too often.
I know you said as captain your voice is heard, but when you first started to be a captain, did everyone take you seriously being a girl? Was that respect there, or did you struggle with that?
So I would say initially when I first got on the team, I was put onto a support role, and everyone knows that women normally play healer when it comes to going into any game, and now I'm playing more of a controller based or sentinel, which is very crucial for holding down sites. So by playing that now and then having those semesters in my backpack of experience, everyone has treated me with respect, and uh, I would hope it stays that way. And either way, I demand respect because I reciprocate that respect to everyone else. So it's definitely difficult, especially for girls starting out. That toxicity is there, especially even now. Whenever I play a game without my team there, that toxicity is there just for being a girl. But as long as you don't have that mindset of them affecting you because you're better than them anyway, it's fine.
Definitely. Well, that's good. I'm happy that you're getting respect that you deserve, and that's awesome. And thank you so much again for your time, and I really appreciate it.
No problem. I just wanted to add that our esports club as well, started only with 13 students and 2 teams in 2019. And now we're up to 19 different teams and over 350 students to date in 2021. Like, that progress is there. And even if you have such a small, like, if you think that things are so small, realize that a community is there for you, especially being a female in esports. That community is there for you.
Definitely. That's a great way to end it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it again and your time. Just thank you overall. That's awesome. Keep
No
doing what
problem.
you're doing.
Thank you
Thank
for the opportunity.
Of course. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey guys, KTAD here, and just like that, another season of ECAC Esports regular season play has come to a close. Over the last 8 weeks, we saw a crazy amount of hype competition from some of the best collegiate esports has to offer, and as usual, you guys have me one last time to break it all down and to show you guys what we thought were some of the top plays this week. And honestly, guys, I don't have much more to say. Just check it out because I think we've got some really incredible clips here. Let's take a look. In our opening clip, it's Professor Dementium with a straight boot off the stage to kick things off for Bloomfield.